Good morning and welcome to Rust Revival Garage. My name is Tim. Today is day one of the Hot Rod Power Tour in Indianapolis. Started the day out in my 1968 Pontiac Le Mans with the new Discovery. It rained last night and apparently my roof is leaking and my windshield wipers do not work. Yay. So we got a full day ahead of us, so let's get to it. We're turning into the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Kind of an update on the car. I filled up again on gas at my gas station near my buddy's place. Figured in the miles. I was doing a little bit more stop and go city driving and was averaging about 16.6 miles per gallon. So that was me finishing the 96 miles from Dayton to Indianapolis and then driving around to get to his place. Right now I'm sort of stuck in traffic and we're just sort of waiting to work our way into the venue. It's only 9:06 and it didn't open until 9, so there's a chance that it's just slow getting people in. So, but we're on our way for day number one. Got a little caravan of vehicles. We've got a early 90s Suburban, a 66 Corvette, 1985 Grand Wagoneer behind. I think that's a Wagoneer. And my buddy from Columbus that was going to take his 53 pickup truck, and he was working all the way through up till this morning, I think, and ended up having to take his 96 Corvette, and he didn't leave until about 8 or 9 o'clock this morning. So he's not going to join us here in time until later today. Of course, you can probably see the speedway out there, and you can see the wet pavement, and I kind of wonder if that means they're not going to do any drag racing today because of the rain. Huh, kind of curious. And we are here.
Yeah. Well, I designed it, I guess.
Designed?
Yeah, and I had someone make it for me.
I'm actually a little kind of choked up because this is the first car show this car has ever been to. Not even the fact that it's the first one since I have started it back up, but this is the first time I've brought a car to a show that people would be walking around and looking at it, and that's pretty cool. Okay, so they've got drags here at the Indy Raceway Park. Let's watch a little bit of racing. I got nothing against the new horsepower. It's some of the most amazing cars probably ever made, but it's just kind of boring seeing the same Mustang after Mustang after Camaro after Mustang racing down the track. I want to see some old cars, you know, that to me is drag racing. Maybe I'm just being old school. $15.69, $15.96.
Let's go take our stuff back and go sit.
Let's check out a few of the cars that are here. Gotta get my shots in. All right, that is day one in Indianapolis. Very cool, very beautiful day. It was like 71 degrees. Lots of great cars, lots of drag racing, all that kind of stuff. So that's day number one in the bag. Tomorrow we're off to Joliet, Illinois. Love it if you could follow along. Give me a like down below if you got anything out of it. Comment down below if you want to see anything, if you have any questions, any of that kind of stuff. And subscribe if you can. Got more days coming up. It is time for day number 2 of the Hot Rod Power Tour. Stayed at my buddy's place after day 1, and we're gonna go. I'm all packed up, and we're gonna go to Joliet, Illinois, to the Route 66 Speed Park. I think I got that right. But it's the Route 66. No, it's the Route 66 Drag Park. That journey from the Indianapolis Raceway Park to the Route 66 Drag Park is 188 miles. I'm not sure from my buddy's house if we're a little closer than that or farther away, but good news is it's a nice long trip, and it's another good test for the 1968 Pontiac Le Mans. So let's get to it. Quick check of things, and everything is looking good. No leaks, nothing really causing any problems. I don't have any issues at this point. All right, we've got our caravan ready to go.
Morning. Bathroom, something to drink.
Good. I was Airbnb.
And we're off, headed to Joliet, Illinois for day number 2. Hot Rod Power Tour 2025. Got through a bit of a traffic jam there, pulling into a Pilot for our first gas stop. I don't care who you are, that's a good lineup at a gas station if you've ever seen one. Saw a sign that said Joliet 18 miles, so we're getting close. Here we are going into the Route 66 dragway. We are here.
There's a little beauty.
we're at the Route 66 dragway. This is really cool. Drags going on over here and lots of cars. This is awesome. Let's take a look around. Guys having fun?
Oh yeah.
All right. All right, guys, take care.
You too.
That's very low.
Well, you can raise it back up to drive, I think.
With a manual transmission.
Got it?
Austin can drive it.
Don't
Yeah,
mind my
all
hand.
those C10s, exactly. With the Finch Pepper
With your
Apex
Cheeto-y,
chassis.
powdery
Got Cheeto fingers.
It's
I
super
know.
cool.
Give me
The lead
the.
and follow with like 4 or 5 of them on the
Alright.
track at once.
Here we go.
Her
It's
Cheeto
cool.
fingers are on
Oh,
it.
there we
They get
go. All
close.
right, you
One of
got
the
it.
guys,
Perfect.
I don't even know
Thanks,
where
man.
we were, but JP.
All right.
Is it Long John Silver's?
I have some t-shirts. Not sure if you will recognize this if you've seen the show Faster with Newbern and Cotton, but this was one of Cotton's cars. I am a first-gen Firebird and Camaro guy. Absolutely love the little pony cars. I had a 67 Firebird 400 back in the day and got rid of it, and that was one of those just big mistakes, wish you had it back kind of things. It's time for some more racing. Let's hope I'm not bad luck and somebody else crashes today too. Fingers crossed for these guys. got to include my own car. Another day is done. Finishing up here at Joliet and headed out. And awesome, great day. Got to see some drag races, cool cars. Really fun. Seeing a lot of old classic cars coming through here. Day number 3 is tomorrow. We're heading to Fort Wayne, Indiana. So yeah, very cool. Like if you got anything out of the video, give me a comment down below. Subscribe if you can. We've still got 3 more days of the Hot Rod Power Tour. Thank you very much for tuning in. We will catch you next time. Hey, this is Tim again. One last note. The driver of the car that crashed in the Mustang in the day 1 video actually commented on that, and he said, walked away fine. Car just made it home into the garage. It's not too effed up, but it's going to take some time to fix. So the good news is that he is okay. Also, I wanted to add, if you happen to see me out there on day 3, day 4, day 5, or whatever, say hi. I love it that people are watching these videos, and if you do happen to see me out there and say hi, that's really cool. It just makes my day. So very cool. I hope to see you out on the Power Tour, and if you can't make it this year, maybe I can see you next year, because this is going to be an ongoing thing for me. I love doing this, and I love getting out there and driving these cars and seeing what they can do and seeing if they can make it. So yeah, I'd love it if you could say hi. Today is day number 3 for the Hot Rod Power Tour. Today we are going to be going from Joliet, Illinois to Fort Wayne, Indiana, and it's the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum, I think. Why are these names so complicated? Anyway, gonna be a fun day. There's no racing at this event, but it's gonna be basically a parking lot car show. I know we've seen a lot of cars, so I'm gonna try to mix things up a little bit, see if we can make it a little more interesting. Probably not, but anyway, stay tuned. Let's get right to it.
Well, I'm trying to get over.
We had a good collection of power tourers at our hotel. They tried to get the burnout competition going out here, but just didn't happen. 1.5 burnouts, and then the cop drove by and everybody kind of shut it down, but we tried. Decided to take a little detour and stop by and see Lake Michigan. If you're gonna go on these power tours, it's always a good idea to try to see something you don't normally get to see.
I wonder what Michigan would look like from here. Oh, I see a boat.
About power tours, it's really a rolling car show, and it's so cool to be out on the road with all of these other great cars, sort of just going in a big pack onto your next destination. It's great to roll through the small towns and see the countryside and see parts of the country you don't normally see as well, but it's also just great to be out among people who are just big gearheads. to the Coliseum. Got a bit of a line to get in, but I believe it is back over there in the distance. Thanks to Haggerty, we got upgraded to a gold and platinum parking. So we're gonna go in the back way. And we have made it. She was running a little warm, wanted to air it out a little bit. But yeah, this is the Coliseum, and we got a pretty close spot. We're right in here with the vendors, it looks like. Very cool.
It's irreplaceable. Bill Stevens obviously doing a very good job filling his chair, and he'll continue to do that. But John was and will always be
You got mine?
itself. It started there as a consignment collector.
Excellent. Thank you very much. High five. High five. Been on a few power tours. So I got me a fish sandwich for a late lunch. I was hoping to actually interview some folks while I was here today, but it took us 5.5 hours to get here. Lost an hour with the time change. So we really don't have a whole lot of time here. I think it'll just be a little bit of the car show today. And then we'll get back on it when we head to Michigan tomorrow. But yeah, let's take a look at some more cars. So I'm a Buckeye fan. My daughter's actually attending Ohio State, so I gotta capture this one. Little scarlet and gray. Oh, that is just beautiful. A line for the porta potties. Okay, so that's gonna do it for day number 3 here in Fort Wayne. Tomorrow we're going on to Michigan. So a lot more to see and do. If you can, give me a like down below, leave me a comment, and subscribe if you can. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching. We will catch you next time. Good morning and welcome to Rust Revival Garage. My name is Tim. Getting some coffee in, had some breakfast, about ready to roll out. We're gonna leave Fort Wayne and we're gonna head to, I think it is Monroe, Michigan today. I think it's about 180 miles. So another 3-hour trip. There's no drag racing at this event. It is another car show parking lot day. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to it. So those who are new to the channel, this car sat for 24 years. I've had the car since about 96, and I thought I blew a head gasket in about 99, 2000. Decided, well, I might as well replace the heads, and that's going to cost money. And then the kids came along and all of that. So it basically sat in my garage for 24 years. Finally got it up and running again, and this is the first time it's been out. Literally, the Power Tour is my test run. So just an update, everything has been going really, really good. The only thing I'm having issues with are my hose clamps keep loosening up, but I did check. I had to add a little bit of oil today, about maybe 1/3 of a quart, so it's not burning oil, and that's pretty much all I've added. This is day 4, so we've gone 3 days and I've only had to add a little bit of oil. Transmission fluid's good. I did add a little. I think what's happening too, I have an overflow on this car from my radiator, but I don't think it's siphoning it back up to the radiator, so I keep having to add a little bit of coolant and or water. But that's it. Everything else has been doing great. I'm maintaining like highway speeds. I'm maintaining 40 psi and oil pressure. It's pretty much running steady at 180 degrees. If it does get a little warm, it's only if I'm sitting in traffic. It might go up to 190. But this car has been doing great, and I'm really happy with how things are working out. So yeah, that's the update on the car, and things are going well, and hopefully it'll continue to do so. And we have arrived at the Monroe County Fairgrounds. Not quite sure where I'm going, but I think this might be it. I think I parked in the wrong spot. All right, much better parking. The Suburban. I love the look of this. Thanks.
Get me out of here. I feel like I have one of those.
This is actually really cool. They've got like a lot of little buildings. It's almost like you're in a little neighborhood. Definitely some new vendors here, ones that weren't here before. That's kind of cool.
Boost your power plant's performance.
License plates up here to give away, and the power parts in the case.
Windshield, young lady. All right, there we go. Yeah, back it up. Yeah, bring it right in.
Video, huh? Yes, you go. No. No. I'm trying not to show the same cars over and over again. Cool thing about it is each new show you see actually a lot of new cars. it's not always the same cars over and over again. You do spot a couple that you've seen before. The ones that really stand out, they always catch your attention. But the cool thing is each new venue, each new state, it's something new.
Yeah. Sticker van girl.
I'm sticker
That's the
van.
sticker
I
van.
love that.
On it.
This would have been the perfect parking spot for some GTOs. You know the saying. Perfect koozie doesn't there we go.
Dad, there's a water. All right, I found number one. I'm poor number two. Oh man, poor guy.
Hello from Junkyard Digs.
Get one in.
Yeah, I gotta go find somebody real quick, but hey, it was real nice to meet you.
I lost you in traffic. You guys
Oh,
just
okay.
a little bit too far ahead of us.
Hello from Junkyard Digs. Welcome to Power Tour.
So cool, day number 4 is done in Monroe. Time to move on to Norwalk, Ohio tomorrow in the Summit Motorsports Race Park. I think it's called that. Been there a couple of times for the Pontiac Nationals. So that's coming up tomorrow. There's going to be some drag racing there. And what I love about their drag racing area, you can get a lot of really great shots from all around, from like behind, everywhere. It's pretty cool. So if you can, give me a like. If you got anything out of the video, leave a comment down below. If you anything you want to see or have me check out again or whatever, and subscribe if you can. I really do appreciate it. Thanks very much for tuning in. We will catch you tomorrow for day number 5. Good morning and welcome to Rust Revival Garage. My name is Tim. It is time for day number 5 of the Hot Rod Power Tour. We are headed from Monroe, Michigan this morning to Norwalk, Ohio. Gonna be some drag racing there, and I might even have a little bit of burnouts for you. Not burnouts from today, but from last night. Take a look at this burnout. Nah, just kidding. It's more like this. So cool. Time to get on the road, and do me a favor, if you're following along on my journey with the Power Tour, I'd love it if you could subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot of projects that I'm working on. My 68 Le Mans, my 1985 C10, my 2000 Jeep Wrangler TJ, my 78 Yamaha XS 1100. A lot of projects, plus I'm always going to shows. In fact, in a couple of weeks I've got the Good Guys Columbus coming up, and the weekend after that the Pontiac Nationals back at Norwalk. So I'd love it if you could subscribe to the channel and follow along on my journeys with me. That would be really, really cool. All right, time to get on the road. We are here at the Summit Motorsports Park. Another arrival. We have made it. A little worried about today. It's overcast, it's sprinkling a little bit. There may not be a whole lot of options for racing today. Got them all stamped. Got my certificate, it looks like, and the long hauler plaque. We are good to go with that. Here's the end point. And then right down in there is the start point. Yeah, I think they're trying to dry it off, but it's actually still sprinkling right now. I just don't think there's going to be any racing today. All right, so sorry for the abrupt ending, but my car has an issue. Still don't know what it was, but I'm home. On the way from Michigan to Norwalk, I heard a lot of squeaky, creaking noises every time the wheels would rotate around. There was a little bit more vibration than there ever was. My buddies at the show said there's a good chance that your U-joints, or at least a U-joint, is going bad, and when it's vibrating, it could pop at any moment. So I stressed about that. After I got some footage at the show, I said, I'm going to try to get home before traffic gets too bad. It's about a 2-hour drive from Norwalk down to Columbus, Ohio, where I live. And so, yeah, the whole way here, it was grinding and creaking and moaning and vibrating, and it was crazy. And I made it. This car did not give up, whatever the problem was. At first I thought, as I'm driving, I'm thinking, it feels like there's vibrations coming from the front as well. Maybe it's the wheel bearings. And when I got home, I got out of the car and I checked, and these things are cool as cucumbers, front and back. Like I said, I still don't know what the problem is, but it was... Here's another thing that happened. There's some kind of drag on the car, because from Norwalk to... Michigan to Norwalk and down, I dropped from a 16 mile an hour or 16 mile per gallon average down to 12. So leave me a message down below in the comments if you have an idea. It's not the wheel bearings. The U-joint did not fail, even though there was vibration. There is some kind of drag on the car. Anyway, the whole point being, I did make it home. I didn't get a chance to shoot an ending at the show. They had talked a little bit about reopening the drag strip, but it continued to rain. Just not a lot, but just enough that I felt, what, I don't think I'm going to be able to get any of the drags, even if it happens. Like I said, didn't want to wait around with this problem. So that's it for day 5 of the Hot Rod Power Tour for 2025. I did it. This car did it. The last Power Tour, I was stressed out about my C10. It had a brand new Blueprint engine in it, 350, and a brand new Gearstar trans in it, and I was worried about all the other stuff failing, and I had the doom and gloom outlook, and my maroon C10 got the nickname Rosie, because at the end of it, nothing happened. And so that truck was the one with the Rosie outlook, and I actually don't have a name for this car, but I think I do now. I've owned this car for 30 plus years, and I've never given it a name. And that was the most stressful hour and a half, 2 hours of my life getting home, because I thought at any moment the wheels were going to lock up, or the drive shaft was going to fall out, or something. And under pressure, I failed. This car did not. This car's new name is Grace. And she was better under pressure than I was. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'd love it if you could subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot to do to find out what happened to this car. I've got my C10 project that I'm always working on, my Jeep TJ that I'm always working on. I got a motorcycle around the corner here. Lots going on the channel, so I'd love it if you could subscribe. Like it if you got anything out of the video. I know it wasn't much, wasn't a big deal, there wasn't a lot going on. I tried to get a few new cars in there and show you guys, and I got my long hauler plaque. Grace got her long hauler plaque, and that's cool. So thank you very much for coming on the journey if you've been watching, or if you just started watching the channel from the Power Tour videos. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will catch you next time.